All right, detailing community, we are back to finish our install comparing Pan the Organizer with HCC and DIY detail. So I am going to do, and I'm going to put HCC here. So my plan is DIY detail, HCC, Pan the Organizer, HCC, DIY detail. So it's kind of sandwiched just like it was on the hood of the vehicle. And this is going to be really good because I get a lot of dirt and puddle splatter all up in these areas. All of them get caked pretty easily. So this will be a good way for us to see how each coating does with self-cleaning, how long they last, and how long they hold up for, chemical durability and all that kind of jazz. So starring Pan, I am going to use pans first using the applicator pillow. Yep, this is me with my silly phone head thing on. It was the only way I could get a good POV view for you guys to see how the products are installed. And meta glasses don't go that long. They only go about 3 minutes. So that wasn't going to work. And instead of pausing and starting and all that jazz, I figured this is a good solution. So I've got the applicator pillow all full of product. This product is definitely thicker than DIY. It doesn't feel or come out of the bottle quite the same. So I like to zigzag, kind of like you saw before. I just cover all the areas. I get the bulk of the product. I'm going to follow the door panel all the way around. I like to get my edges first, and then come back in and fill everything in, and then I can get tedious with any spots that I missed. So you don't have to take your time applying it. I know some people think that the slower that you actually put the product on the car, the better, but it's really the amount of time that you let it sit on the paint that gives you the best result. So I don't really love this pad. As you can see, it's bunching up. It's a problem with most square applicator pads, as they tend to do that, but this pad's nice. You can fit it in tight little areas. I'm gonna get this lip right here. That is a water spot demon. And I'm gonna stop at the pillar. I'm gonna go one more time and just work this product in, make sure I didn't miss any spots and everything's got it nice and even. I did inside the door handle, lower rocker. This area right here is super prone to mud where I live. And that's it. We're gonna let her sit. So same thing as what I saw on the hood of the car. Get a nice rainbow effect. That typically tells you that the solvents are leaving. I don't know if I need to back up some for you to see it fully, but you can kind of see it's got a nice even rainbow to it. For some coatings, this is an indicator that it's time to level. For others, it isn't. There's really no rhyme or reason to the time frame within that flash off. Well, there is. It's based on, dryness, humidity, temperature, and all that kind of jazz. Some coatings will do it no matter what. Some won't do it no matter what. Some are completely weather dependent. Everybody kind of uses a different solvent to make their coatings, and of course that's why you're going to see a little bit of variation, but most of them do what this coating is doing, which is rainbow, definitely not yellow. So I can kind of tell there's a bit of saturation difference from the uncoated panel to the coated one, which is something nice to see. You want to see at least some kind of paint change, whether it be gloss or depth or even both if you can. So I think Pan, you did a great job here, or your creators did a great job. I'm sure that you're not the one making them, but whoever you got making them for you, they did a fantastic job. Like I said, going twice from the hood to here, I definitely feel a thicker coating going on that I did with DIY detail. It feels just grabbier when you move the pad around. So I feel like it's been long enough. I'm gonna go ahead and level. I might let it sit for another 15, 20 seconds. See if I notice anything major. So when I level this, I am gonna do my best not to get any overlap on either panel. There's my cat. You can't help with this, kitty. It's the outside barn cat. Helps us keep some of the geckos down because they are brutal out here. All right, so same with the hood. Very easy wipe, very nice. This is something you want to see, whether you're a DIYer or a professional using a coating. You don't want to have to struggle with it too much. Because that cuts into your time, and really you just want to be as efficient as possible. You want to be able to deliver a car back to your client quickly, or if you're doing your own car, you want to be able to not have to spend all day doing it. Which, as many of you know, back in the day when coatings first came around, that was kind of the norm. You would do a several hour paint correction, and then you would come and do a several hour ceramic coating install, and thank God those days are over. We don't have to do that anymore. Things have gotten easier to use as the technology has progressed, and many times it's gotten easier without having to sacrifice durability, which is important because that's what we're all after at the end of the day. Okay, so the leveling was easy. Everything came off nice and smooth. Kind of to be expected. That was the experience on the hood. It has started raining since we started, so I can definitely feel the humidity going up quite a bit. That's it. So very easy, very straightforward. Voila, done. I do notice that there's a little bit of hazing going on. It's not terrible, it's not a lot. I don't know if you can tell from this panel to that panel. It definitely seems like this panel is just a touch, has a touch more depth and definitely more gloss. So good job, Pan, on the gloss. Good job, Pan. All right, moving on to Underdog. We're gonna go same style as the other one. Get this bottle out of here. Go ahead and start shaking her up. I got the same towels I used for Underdog there, so I'm not going to cross-contaminate towels because sometimes that can throw things off. Very important when you're doing a comparison test to use fresh towels for each coating. All right, so I accidentally poured a little bit more than I wanted to, but that's okay. I'm going to stick those two guys right there because they're buddies. Stick that guy there somewhere else. There we go. All right. Now, same thing we did with pans. We're gonna go at an angle, and then I'm gonna follow all my edges. You'll notice mine does not bunch up. It stays nice and flat on the panel, which is good. These long corners help you get inside the door handle, the door jamb, not the jam, just the handle cup. All right, so I've got it pretty well even. We'll go ahead again, focusing on this little area there. That is a water spot. Demon. Okay, I might as well go up here. Why not? I'm gonna stop right there though. Okay, so we're gonna let this product sit for about 20-30 seconds, and then I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna go the opposite direction. This one is installed a little differently than this one. Both DIY and Pan, you wipe them on, you wait for them to flash, you don't touch them again, you wipe them off. This one's a little different. This one, again, you shake the bottle quite a bit. It's got the agitator beads in there, but you wipe it on, you let it flash to a bit of a haze. You're not gonna see any rainbowing with this one. You're gonna get more of a milky color. Now that it's been that amount of time, I'm gonna go back and work it in the opposite direction. And what should happen, just like it is now, is we're seeing that haze kind of disappear as we work this coating into the paint. And this makes leveling very easy. This makes leveling a breeze in direct sunlight. And as far as I know, currently we're the only product that kind of works like this. I know some of you will go, well, there's a lot of products out there that you could wipe like, not quite like this. And you'll know once you get your hands on it. So that's it. I've got it pretty well evened out. You get the cup. And again, this area right here is just horrible for collecting dirt and mud and water spots. It is raining all the time. We get, I want to say like 500 or 600 inches of rain a year. Maybe it's 400. It's a lot. We get a ton of rain, ton of moisture, ton of salt in the air. So I am going to come back, put my applicator pad back in the box. You can tell it's so humid that it's making our paper get wet and curl. That happens a lot out here. All right, so we're gonna go do our initial wipe. I would say it's roughly been about the same time as we did with Pan. I really enjoy having his photo there. I think I might just keep that as a staple in the vehicle. All right, wiping it off. Feels super buttery. I can feel a massive bit of grab from here because there's no coating here. And then here it's just nice and smooth and butter. That's what we want. We want butter. So first wipe, very easy. Just knocking off all the initial residue. I don't know if you can still see or if I'm too close. I won't know until I stop this, but I'm going to publish it regardless. Regardless. Okay, I'm pretty satisfied. I got most of this residue. I don't see any high spots. Everything feels nice and smooth and buttery. All right, so there we go. Now both of these panels are looking wonderful. I'm checking them for high spots. I don't see any. I think we're good to go to move on to DIY and our last one. We're gonna finish up with that. So, grand finale. Shakeroo. And let's go ahead and send it. I'm gonna get the entire pad wet this time because it was dry and kind of squeeching along the paint, which on the hood, which I didn't like. This is my least favorite applicator pad out of any applicator I've had since I started using ceramic coatings. Maybe see, I hate that. Some people are gonna argue with me, I'm sure. Look, it rolls. Maybe that's what this is for. This stops the roll, I'm sure. I'm sure that was in the design process. Okay, so similar way. Yeah, this product 100% is not the same as Pan's. Even if it happens to be made by the same people, it is not the same. This product almost feels like putting on water. It's just very thin and smooth and different feeling. All right, so I did some of my plastics. I might as well hit it with the plastics. Screw it. Let's send it. Wasn't intended. I don't know if this product is good for plastics. Since we're talking about that, I did not intend to talk about that in this video, but HCC can be applied on any surface. Glass, plastic, rubber, paint, aluminum, gel coat, and that's what I'm doing here with DIY. I'm giving them a surface all to their own that Pan and HCC isn't gonna get, which is gel coat. But I don't wanna leave this side of my camper shell without any love. So that's it. I'm gonna let that sit for a bit. Make sure I got everything as good as possible. Feels like I do. The applicator pad, I think because it's foam, might be affecting the way that it feels when I apply it, being as the fact that this is the only one that is like a wax pad. The other two are at least microfiber. I think that's interesting. I feel like this product came with a plastic box and a nicer applicator pad. This one came with a nicer box and a not as nice applicator pad. Whatever. Okay, so again, letting these sit. I'm not following strict times. I'm doing just like I feel like most installers do. A lot of them put it on, wait. You know, I've kind of tried to guesstimate that I'm within that time frame. I know a lot of them said 1 to 2 minute install. So I think we're just trying to treat them all the same. So I'm gonna go ahead, get ready to do my first wipe here. Fold up my towel and then wrap up this. And then I'm gonna go ahead and coat probably this one off. I'll go ahead and coat it on camera. I might as well have done it while I had it out, but we'll go back to that. All right. You know what? I'm actually gonna let that sit for the whole time, and I'm gonna go ahead and apply this one, and I'm gonna let this one sit while we level that one. Just so we can kind of push the envelope here. I like doing that. And we're gonna give all these a good solid 24 hours of dryness before we let them see the road. And the conditions and all that jazz, and all of them are gonna get treated the same. So again, with HCC, this panel's kind of small. I'm gonna go ahead and just follow my edges. And I did not clean the plastic on this one, but you know what? Because I really only anticipated doing the paint, but I'm gonna go ahead and send it on the plastics. Don't tell anybody I am cleaning my plastics with an applicator pad. This is at the end of my install anyways, so I'm sending it. Don't tell anybody and pick me apart for it all you want to. All right, let's go over to DIY, start leveling. Very easy, very slick. Immediately right off the bat, this is child's play. I think you might have to go out of your way to mess this one up. I think you'd have to go out of your way to mess all three of them up, to be honest with you. They're all just so easy to use. They're all one towel, pretty much one towel levels. Of course, you should never do that. Always use a second. So immediately this product feels nice and slick. A lot of people like that. In my experience in the past, sometimes the slickness wears away pretty quickly, but that's entirely dependent on how it's washed, how it's taken care of, all those things. So what we're gonna be looking for is how clean do these coatings stay? How long do they hold up? How well do they self-clean? Do they stack up well with chemicals? Can you attack them with chemicals without killing the coating? that kind of stuff. So looks like I got a little bit of a high spot under there, no problem. Wipes off super easy. No issue whatsoever. All right, there we go. Looks very glossy, looks very nice. All of them look very nice and glossy. I don't see any huge, massive differences between one versus the other. They all have really nice high level of gloss. Oh, let me wipe the plastics. I did not do that. Okay, we're done with the plastics on that one. All right, so we'll see. That wasn't part of the test, wasn't intended to be, but we're gonna go ahead and hit it anyway. All right, now to wipe off the HCC. That sat there the whole time while we did that. Very easy wipe off. Slightly more grab than DIY. Probably more on par with Clean by Pan. I would say that ours feels a little thicker, but the way that it feels doesn't necessarily translate into performance. So, all right, there we have it. Super easy. And I'll do a follow-up video once this is dried and we get it on the road and we're ready to rinse her down and do a follow-up. Thanks for tuning in, and hopefully you guys can agree we treated everyone fairly. I gave everybody a very nice review, and I think an honest review. Just a recap, I think everyone did a really wonderful job with their packaging. I think everybody did a wonderful job with the coating. Some of the things that I don't like are listing how long a product will last for. Out of those two, that's really the only thing I'm gonna dog on them. I don't think that it's fair to advertise how long a coating's gonna last, because you don't know what kind of conditions the vehicle is gonna be in. You don't know how it's gonna be cared for. You don't know who's gonna take care of it. You don't know a lot of factors out there in the world that could make a coating pass or fail. And so I think that kind of sets a unrealistic expectation, but that's just my opinion, and I'm entitled to it. Everyone gets their own. There's a reason why I don't add that in our company. That doesn't mean that our products won't last as long or they don't perform equally or better. It's just that that is something that I'm not willing to advertise, because at Underdog, we just want to make promises that we can hit 100% of the time, every single time. We don't want to do something that, hey, this happens 10% of the time, and so we're going to use that as our main advertising focus. That's just not my jam. But anyways, again, wrapping this up, I think everything was fair, and we'll come back soon. Thanks for watching.